Let's jump to our next speaker. Nils, are you there?
I'm here.
Perfect. Are you ready to go?
Absolutely. I'm just
Perfect.
gonna.
Share your screen and just take it away.
Sure. Um, do you see my screen well?
Yeah, I see. But yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
All
Perfect.
go.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks to Yoon here pointing out some of the trends that we also are seeing, and also taking the perspective on developing AI models and what our customers are seeing, and the ones that actually develop the models. I'm going to talk about stream analyze a bit now, and we are coming into this from a different kind of angle. We're talking more about the infrastructure and tools and how you you have a platform where you actually can develop these models on. So we don't develop the models ourselves, but we have an infrastructure and tools platforms where you can develop these AI models on it, simply put. Also, thank you, Magnus, for inviting us to this event where we talk about how to make stupid things smart, simply put. That's actually what we at Streamlines are doing. If we talk about analytics, then we talk about a lot about infrastructure and tools and how you develop, how you can deploy these AI models, how you can run them and manage them. That's why we have kept our focus on our company, because that's kind of the challenge most of our customers have. AI models, then, what are they for? And when we talk about smarter products, what are we really talking about? Well, we're talking about adaptiveness. We often talk about intelligence. We talk about new capabilities and what they do and so forth. And this is all things you need to be able to do. When talk about businesses, they talk about things like uptime, better products, servitization, and what they mean by these words. I mean, if you talk about uptime, you talk about things like stability and predictiveness and have models doing this. When you talk about better products, you have words like optimization, how you do that. When you talk about servitization, it's often that you have the same hardware, but you need to be able to deploy new functionality, new services. Then, of course, you have other challenges, things like data costs, where you store all the data, or security aspect. What happens if someone looks into the data and so forth? We have customers there talking about regulatory compliances as well and how you address all these things. So we at Stream Analyst, then, why should you use us, and what's the purpose of it? So as I mentioned in the beginning here, we're an infrastructure and tool company where you actually build your AI models on. But what's unique with us is that you don't have to store any data. You stream the data and you do all these monitoring and developing and so forth directly on the stream, simply put. You have the interactivity. You actually deploy and change these models on the fly when the company's products are in full use. The platform itself, when you actually deploy them out on their products, it has extremely low footprint. And this is very, very important because often you end up in a situation where you have an idea how you should do this and so forth. But at the end of the day, these companies have very, very limited resources. It can be things like footprint, for instance. We have very, very low amount of storage capability, ability. And our smallest footprint about 17 Ks, which means that pretty much everything you use is for the model itself. Then, of course, you have the ease of use. The importance here is that you don't want an IT department or just the analytical guys to be able to develop these models. You want everybody to be able to do this, especially things like people like product managers, which have more knowledge about the business of product, so they actually can develop the models themselves. Then you have things like industrial scale, that you're actually able to do this on massive fleets rather than just like 10 or 20 products or something like that. You mentioned large industrial companies earlier, John, here in the previous presentations. And I mean, there you have often instances of hundreds of thousands, maybe millions products, and it needs to be scalable, simply put. So that's something we also put a lot of focus on. And then, of course, every day, all data that leaves our edge devices is controlled and encrypted to maintain security aspects. So it's a zero trust platform. So why have we at Stream Analyze earned the right to talk about AI edge analytics in the first place? Well, our company is based on research back from academic research from the last 30 years from institutions as Uppsala, Linköping, and Stanford. We're backed by European Innovation Council, identified as one of their strategic AI companies. And we've been selected by many Swedish investors as a potential unicorn. So a lot of different companies see us as a very, very interesting partner. So based on this, we tend to kind of look upon this as we ever earned and the right to talk about this, that we actually have the knowledge that is required. I'm not going to talk that much more, but I would like to bring forth specific use cases which we actually have done. And this is, for instance, one of the global manufacturers of transport solutions. They previously, when they did this AI modeling, had a lot of problems about how much time it took, and they needed all the staff to be part of the company and so forth. So they needed to use a lot of external staff because they didn't have enough staff to do it. And start talking to us regarding how they could actually leverage the current staff, but still be able to develop and create these AI models that they wanted. So we start talking and introduce them to our platform named SI Engine and how you can use that, and with our front at SI Studio. And suddenly the domain knowledge became the most important asset rather than IT knowledge. And they have quite revolutionized their way of actually developing these AI models. And an important aspect here that we have recognized through our customers that becomes more and more apparent is that the ownership of both the knowledge of the data is imperative for our customers, and that we don't own anything regarding this. It's quite powerful. We just enable them to do this through our platform. We don't save anything. We don't own anything regarding to their knowledge or their data. Another example is servitization, and this is a company within robot mowers that they wanted to change it around. They had a business set up where they sell the hardware, the lawnmower itself, but actually they want to change it around to sell the ability to cut grass. And this means, of course, that they need to be able to allow finance managers and stuff like that to build and deploy financial solutions directly on their lawnmowers. So this is what we help them out with, and that's what they have done. Decreased revenue and business margins are quite astonishing, actually. And their competitiveness has also risen in the way that it's not that many other players out there within this market that actually have done this. So it's a big thing for them. So I'll leave you there with our vision that we want a world where every device, machine, and asset is powered by analytical edge AI. And we try to do this by enabling a platform for our customers and for others to build AI models everywhere, which means that we can push this out and deploy this on every kind of product, no matter what kind of software they have, what kind of hardware they have, pretty much what kind of footprint they have, or what kind of processing power they have. So that's our vision. So I'll end with that. Thank you so much. Look forward to if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Nils. I don't see any questions in the chat, but I can give you a question. Could you just share with us your business model? How do you actually charge for this?
Yeah, our business model, we use a subscription model. So it's paid on a quarterly basis based on the volume our customers are offering, pretty much.
Okay. Is it one price, or it differs depending on if it's lawn movers or if it's kind of trucks.
It mainly differs based on the volume from the customer.
Okay, great. Can I have another question, by the way? I remember that you have done some interesting stuff when it comes to keeping track of the shape and status of the products that you have connected for customers, the wear and tear and all that, and you connect that to financial systems. So I think that is quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also, I mean, I talked about earlier about business aspects, and uptime is truly central for many of our customers. And based on that, things like predictive maintenance is of course very, very important, and monitoring as well. And once again, what they want to do is pretty much up to them. In this case, they wanted to have predictive maintenance and look into that. Some other companies can be anything. It can be machine learning, or Jon brought up federative learning earlier. For us, it's more to give them capability to do whatever they like. We supply, as I said, an infrastructure and tool, a platform. What they use it for is pretty much up to them. But of course, trend wise, as you point out, Magnus, I mean, predictive maintenance and uptime is very, very central for many companies out there.
We have a question from the audience here. Which product categories are meaningful to apply stream analyze?
Well, we actually are we don't focus on any specific sector itself. This can be used on pretty much any kind of products. But what we see is that the automotive sector seems to be in front regards to this change and this trend going on regarding AI modeling. So the bus in itself, and when you talk about actual customers, it seems like the automotive industry itself is kind of ahead of different sectors. But with that said, our platform can be deployed on any sector out there.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we are. Thank you so much, Nils. I hope you can stay if we have some questions afterwards.
Sure.
Thank you so much.